Adnan, thank you for being here with me. And basically, guys, like we really wanted to discuss a little bit more from what you've heard today, right? That all sounds nice and interesting, but what's the reality and the challenges we see if you onboard on that journey and if you start implementing the project? And in the region, we see a lot of customers, banks who are now on this transformation, digitalization journey, not just because it's trendy, but because, as you heard today, the landscape is changing, customer expectations are more pressing than ever, regulations are changing, and we need to adjust. So, Adnan, the question for you as expert in Adriatics, what do you see as the biggest challenges in banks nowadays?
Okay, so I will probably reiterate or wrap up everything you already said, and maybe I will repeat some points from previous sessions. But when we talk with the, let's say, our customers from banks, they always, not always, but many times refer to the Revolut as a, let's say, as experience they want to have. But to achieve this, you need to, of course, have this digitized agility, and it is always, I would say, it is always easier to say than done, and you need, because you have many constraints and many challenges to overcome. And one of the biggest challenges here, we also heard, it is disconnection. Actually, disconnected systems brings to disconnected data, and then disconnected teams within the banks, and then, of course, disconnected customer experience. And this is due to the legacy systems. We know that banks, actually, core systems do not tend to interact with outside world. So it is the biggest challenge is to make or prepare this system to interact with the outside world.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. In reality, to be honest, guys, when we speak with some of you, there are still processes where you use paper approvals or wet signatures, and we won't all talk about digitalization, but this type of processes don't grant agility, right? And we really need to help you to move and leverage all the technologies that's out there. And speaking of what you said in terms of disconnection, right? I see one of the biggest, let's say, blockers, if we talk about the project, is integration. Can you comment a little bit on that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we did many projects in many, let's say, industries. And in every industry, the integration is probably the biggest challenge. When you need to interconnect the processes that is transferring from one part to another. So it is the same in banks as well. But the biggest challenge in banks, as I said, is that legacy systems were not really designed to be open. So you need to find the ways how to integrate these systems with a system like Zdravko showed in his presentation. So, as I said, as Zdravko said, it is obviously it is easy to show, but underneath, under the hood, you need to work a lot of integration part, and definitely you need to have the IT guys on your side from the bank as well, because they know the system.
Yeah, definitely. And we haven't covered here, but I think Salesforce can support you with that with the MuleSoft, which is a platform for integration. And the beauty of it, and I think that's what's important, it's just not one-off integrations to legacy system, but having it as a future-proof, because new systems are coming in, and we need to be agile, and we need to have this ability to reuse some components and don't do like custom coding every time, let's say, to ensure we're scalable. And I would like to touch a little bit on the point you've mentioned about having IT on our side, because every implementation project involves stakeholders from business and stakeholders from IT. So how do we ensure they work together? Because sometimes they have very different objectives.
Yes, sometimes they did, but we always try to get them on board, all of them. So it is very important that you have always IT and business side working together. So in each part of each stage of the project, it is not just the business comes to the kickoff and then leave. And this is something that will not work, definitely. So we always try to set up the project in a way that you have a kind of milestones that, where you check the progress of the solution, the progress of the implementation with business as well, so that business can check, let's say, if the solution really meets their needs. So it is very important.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think from our experience, the most successful, even though, like, let's say business is all about agility and they want things tomorrow, and IT doesn't want any disruption and want to keep things stable and make sure everything's running, as long as there are some shared KPIs and as long as there is a vision of what we are trying to achieve with this project from impact point of view, then they work together. And of course it has to be some executive sponsorship that overruns all of this.
Yeah, of course. Without the executives, but let's see what is executive sponsorship. It is not enough that you have sponsorship. You know, it is. You need to have the engagement really from the executive or from the board to the board, because this is when you go to the digital transformation, then you need really everybody to come on board and support, not only just, as I said, a kick-off from also from the executives, but you need really their support to overcome the roadblocks or to make fast decisions and so on. Without without decisions, you are stuck actually. And, you always need when you. I mean, we always try to secure three things when we are starting the projects. This is the do we have so especially when starting the banking projects. So data, as we already said, do we have is data reachable? Can we access the data, and how we access the data? Then it is important also, because of the regulations and so on, that you have legal on your side, so that you have legal actually involved, so and informed, and then of course you need to have a team that is committed to the project, because if you have a team that has no time for the project, then it will fail.
Yeah.
And of course the team needs to have a really clear approval for conducting the project and making decisions and so on. So this is, without this, I believe the project will fail.
Yeah, I agree with you. And in terms of teams, I think, I don't know if you guys know, but there is this like 2 pizza rule. So if your team can be fed with 2 medium-sized pizzas, it means your team is agile. Like, we don't want the team to be too big, because when it's too big, the processes are slowed down, and we're like, you know, really not moving forward, right? So
yeah, definitely. So we had experiences with the teams that I don't know, large teams, and then we are looking in them where they are aligning themselves in the meeting. So team needs to be aligned, and if the alignment is secured, then I believe the project can go fast.
Yeah, and just what you mentioned about, alignment all the way up to the board. I think one of the great examples is one of our customers, not in Adriatics, but actually in South Africa, Standard Bank. So they're like the huge banking group that works in 22 countries across Africa. So when they started transformation with Salesforce, their CEO was one of the first trailblazers on e-learning platform. So this is leading by example, right? This is showing that it's not just another project, but this is a strategic initiative, and there is a lot of change management that's gonna happen. And if it goes all the way from, senior executives, it's much easier to get it to your teams and to day-to-day relationship managers to get this change as a new norm going. If we talk, like, let's say practical, right? And we all learn things by doing. What would be one mistake that you will never repeat while doing implementation project in banking again?
Well, I already told you one. So actually, that you have executive commitment is very important. So if you think that executive sponsorship is equals to executive commitment, this is mistake. The other mistake is skipping the enable. And I'm very happy with your presentation, with OTP presentation, because I see the enablement is it is crucial actually, because without the enablement you don't have adoption. Without adoption you don't use the product or use all its capabilities. So it is always, we try to set the project always in a way that you have kind of, if the implementation phase is about the system, then the babysitting phase should be about the users. Mm-hmm. So that you have enablement and teach users how to use the product and take all capabilities that it has. So this would be, let's say, don't make these mistakes. And the third one maybe is, and I'm happy also OTP took this way, that you don't overcomplicate in the first phase or first release, and then you just take this win, quick win, and then build on that, so that you can learn, test, learn, and improve, and then again release. And this cycle is always better than big bang, to my opinion.
I agree. It's like keeping it simple and having very clear use case with tangible results is what will help you to drive this change management and this transformation further. And if I may add probably one thing to what you've just mentioned is don't be scared, right? It's try things, adjust, be flexible, alter on the way, because this is a journey. So it's never going to be perfect, but it's better to be done than perfect. And if you keep this mindset and if you have support of your stakeholders, then you can see a big impact and build on it further. Yeah.
So, and if I may add, if we don't work this way, so we have some customers that are our customers actually, we would like the feedback, and we will try to work this way. Definitely, this is our approach, and if there is some things that we can improve, we will do it. So your feedback is also good for us.
Yeah, and I think it's also learning best practices from someone like today we've heard is already been on a journey, talking to the partners that have credentials because they've done these projects before, right? You are on the journey and it might be new for you, but make sure someone already done something, right? And us as Salesforce, it's not even about Salesforce. It's like every transformational project, it's about technology, it's about people, and it's about processes. And combined, I think here we have so much expertise and experience and use cases. So don't be shy to ask for help. Don't be shy to ask for advice, because I think the team here locally as well as us as a vendor, we would be really happy to support you and share what we know to accelerate your journey. And I guess that's it.
Yeah, so we need to be sure because every time we are, you know, just before the lunch, so this is not really
I know.
funny, but okay.
Yeah, we won't keep you guys any longer, but if you have any questions to us or maybe any comments, feel free to ask them now, or we are happy to chat with you in a more informal setup without the microphone.